Hello, and welcome to the first video of a Plum Training. My name is Virginia. I am the owner and head trainer of a Plum Training, and it is my goal and mission in life to help women not only feel strong and capable in their own bodies, but to also feel confident, even when things don't feel so great. Okay, a plum literally means to be confident in the face of adversity, and I know that everyone wants that. And the best place to start is with your physical body. So, with all of that being said, and being confident in hard times, that being very important, there are going to be some times that we don't feel so great about ourselves, which is expected and totally okay. One of those times is going to be postpartum. Now, while I can't speak on this matter myself, as I have not had my own children yet, I do have quite a few women around me at this time who have either just had their own babies or are very, very close to their own births. And I can tell you that these women, while they are amazing, they are beautiful in every single way, they are feeling a little funky. They're like, I don't really know what's going on in my body. I feel uncomfortable. Things are just weird. And that makes sense. Your body has just gone through something that's quite traumatic, a beautiful life event, but traumatic to the body physically and even mentally and emotionally nonetheless. So, it is my job to help these women and you, watching beautiful viewer, feel stronger, more capable, and less like every single time you sneeze, you're going to pee yourself, because that's not fun. The first exercise we're going to start with is Kegels. Now, you have probably heard this word thrown around so many times that it basically has lost all meaning. And I understand that, because what is a Kegel? Simply put, it's a contraction of your pelvic floor. Insert what the pelvic floor is and what it looks like. Because I'll tell you, the pelvic floor is the set of muscles that line the outside of your cooch and help keep everything in place, including your bladder, your uterus, and your vagina, essentially. So we want to make sure that that is nice and tight and sturdy and well equipped to hold things like our pee and our baby and our uterus, even after birth, so that it doesn't prolapse. That would not be fun. But how do you do a Kegel? Well, the most common way of finding out how to do a Kegel is to shimmy on over to the bathroom, sit on the toilet, take a pee, and while you are urinating, you're going to try to stop the flow of your pee. Now, this is not recommended. Do not do this regularly. Please, please do not do this habitually. This is only to find out how to contract your pelvic floor so that you can do it literally any other time of day other than when you are peeing. I'll also throw this in there. When you are having your schmexy time with your partner, um, especially if your partner has a dingaling, it's a fantastic opportunity to try it there as well. I'm just saying. Now, after you have mastered how to do a Kegel, because you have attempted 1 to 3 times while peeing to stop your flow, you can do a Kegel basically anywhere while you are sitting, standing, doing the dishes, driving, doing some art, some crafts, reading. I don't really care. Whatever you want to do, except for peeing. I will not accept that. The Kegels are a great and very easy way to start stimulating your pelvic floor to get her back in position so that you are able to continue in life and not sneeze and pee. Those two should not be mutually exclusive. Anyways, the next exercise that we're moving to is pelvic tilts. Now, those are a great exercise for a little bit more of that pelvic floor region, but also for the abdominals. Now, I can guarantee, and I'm so serious when I say this, I can actually guarantee that someone watching this has dealt with or is dealing with currently a chronic anterior pelvic tilt. Now, what does that mean? A pelvic tilt means that your pelvis, these funky little bones in your hips, is tilting forward, thus pushing your butt out. Now, while this may have been cute in middle school, it's not cute anymore. Okay? We've got a grown up booty and we've got a grown up mindset, which means that we're not sticking our booties out, trying to make them look bigger and giving ourselves lower back pain. Okay? Now, I understand if you have an anterior pelvic tilt, not because you're doing it on purpose, which most of us are not, but because you have A, tight hip flexors, B, weak glutes, C, weak hamstrings, or D, all of the above. Anywho, pelvic tilts are a great way to get a bit more of those abdominals in there and start working our core, as well as continue working on the pelvic floor. So, what you're going to do is lay on the ground, put your feet flat on the ground by bending your legs, and while you have a gap under your lower back, I want you to inhale, hold in that, and then exhale and push that lower back down. I want you to imagine that you have a zipper running from the top of your cooch all the way to your sternum, and you are trying to zip that zipper shut. Bring in that pelvic tilt posterior. So you're taking now the bottom of your pelvis and you're trying to twist it up. Now, moving on to a glute bridge. Again, we're kind of just taking the exercises and continuing to ramp them up, making them slightly more difficult while also incorporating a few more muscles. So now that we have already done the pelvic tilts, which are working the pelvic floor and the abdominal muscles, now we're going to incorporate the glutes because booties are important, not just for looks, but for actual health reasons too. Okay? Booties are healthy. So, same stance as earlier. You're lying on the ground, feet are flat on the floor by bending your knees, but now instead of just tilting the pelvis forward, trying to close the gap from the lower back to the ground, you're actually going to lift the hips up to the ceiling as high as you can go, squeezing your bum and your core as you do it, and then slowly lowering back down. Now, I want you to perform so far all of the exercises that I have said for 10 to 15 reps and then take a rest and continue the sets 3 to 4 times. So, 3 to 4 times you're doing the exercise, and each time you're doing the exercise, you're doing it 10 to 15 times. Okay? Okay, moving on to clamshells. So now we're taking a very similar stance, but instead of lying on the ground, we're kind of flipping to our side. But the knees are still bent and the feet are now stacked on top of each other. What you're going to do is raise your knee, top knee, all the way to the ceiling as much as you can. Rotate it up, keep your feet together. Squeeze your glutes in order to really get that knee up there. Now, what the clamshell is working on, specifically within the glutes, is the gluteus medius. This is what gives you that shelf booty. Now, who doesn't want a shelf booty? You'd be kind of ridiculous not to. Now, with the clamshells working the glute medius and even the medial hip flexors, the hip flexors that are really like under your coochie in between your legs. This is also helping your pelvis move in different planes of motion. We want your pelvis to feel like it's not super stiff and that we've got some good hip mobility. And this starts with the glute bridges, strengthening the glutes that are on one side of the pelvis, the pelvic floor that's on the other side of the pelvis, and now the muscles that help rotate the legs outwards, giving the hips mobility. Last exercise that we're going to do is called the cat cow stretch. Now, I love doing this stretch in the morning, before bed, during my regular daily stretching routine, before my workout, and even after my workout. It is so, so, so good. To perform a cat cow, you're going to get on all fours. And to do the cat portion, we're going into what's called spine extension. You're pushing the top of your spine up, 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 up towards the ceiling to mimic a scaredy cat. You know how they arched, they, you know, they really flex their back up like, I don't like that, I'm angry. Well, that's what we're doing now. Now, it might feel a little uncomfortable, but that's completely okay because the spine is not in this position often. While we do slouch typically within our society, our spine is not pushed to this extent. But I want you to just go at your own pace. You can do this. This is supposed to be comfortable ish and relieve some tension that you're feeling up in your upper and mid back. Now, moving on to the cow portion, have you ever noticed how a cow does have a little bit of an arched back? And it's because, they're huge animals. They've got a lot in their kind of abdominal belly region that's holding them down, and only, you know, some muscles on their back. So what we're going to do that's complete opposite from the spinal extension is we're going to go into spinal flexion, and we're going to push the spine down as much as we can, lift the chest and shoulders, pop the booty out, and look high and proud because we're not scaredy cats anymore. Just a quick reminder, when you're doing the concentric part of an exercise, which means when the muscle is contracting or getting shorter, you want to exhale. When you're doing the eccentric, which is the lengthening part of the exercise, you want to inhale. Just keep that in mind. Please do not forget to breathe. It's very important that you give your body oxygen. Now, I want you to repeat all of these exercises for 3 to 4 sets. And within each set, you're going to do 10 to 15 repetitions. For the cat cow, you can do a bit less. I would say 5 to 8 per variation. So 5 cats, 5 cows, 8 cats, 8 cows per set. Take your time with these. You are not in a competition with anyone. You are in no rush. And these exercises can be built up later to become more difficult as you grow your strength and rebuild yourself. You got this. There is no reason to rush. There is no reason to race through this. This is your body we're talking about, and it's up to you, but we are not getting crazy with this. We're healing the body first. I'm really glad that you all joined me for this episode. I'm so thankful that you took the time to watch this and to get a little bit more knowledge on how to heal your postpartum body. For any questions, please leave them in the comments. And if you would like to speak with me directly, you can email me at support@aplumtraining.com. And you can also book a consultation on my website, which is linked in the description. But I thank you so much for being here. And don't forget to be a plum. Bye.